Welcome to another live. Today is a Q&A session, so if you have any questions, please post in the chat below. We can talk about anything, but we're also going to be chatting a little bit about mindset and affirmations in this video. I want to talk about one of the top things that helped me the most when I first went raw and when I first went vegan, because I went raw and vegan at the same time in 2014. So I want to chat a little bit about that. Again, it's an open forum Q&A, so if you have any questions, just post them in the chat below. We also have the Vegan Health Bundle, which is going on right now. I'm going to post the link in the chat here. And I don't know if you can click the link in the chat, but the link is also in my bio or in the description box on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. So yeah, grab the Vegan Health Bundle. In this bundle, I have created something brand new. It is my 30-day Align and Awaken Affirmation Meditation Challenge. And the reason why I created this is a few reasons. I love affirmations. I think they're super powerful, and we don't usually give them enough credit or give them enough time for them to really change how we view ourselves and what we believe about ourselves and our new habits and things like that. So I created this video course. It's a 30-day challenge course. So you get 30 videos and they're all different. They have different topics, like we have like topics on procrastination, your future self, releasing resistance, loving your body at every stage. So there's so many different topics in this course challenge, and you do each one each day. So when you buy the bundle, go grab the bundle, the Vegan Health Bundle. The link is in my bio or in the description box below. And when you buy the bundle, you get access to this video course. And the regular price for this course is $197. So you are getting access when you buy the bundle, which is a great deal. Even just for that one thing alone, you're getting 83 downloads in this bundle, valued at nearly $5,600 for $49. So go get the bundle. You can always come back to this live. I don't mind if you leave and then come back if you buy the bundle. Totally cool to do that. Get it now because it's only here until March 10th. But when you buy the bundle, you get access to these videos, and they're drip videos. So if you do the first video, then the second video unlocks. And then once you do that video, then the third video unlocks. So you've got all 30 of them, and there's information in there. There's like loads and loads and loads of information about affirmations and our mindsets and all that kind of stuff when it comes to our health and wellness and what we believe about ourselves, how we build habits and things. So I really wanted to create this video course because it is so impactful to change our mindsets first. Working on that first is so valuable, and a lot of people skip it. And way back in the day, I thought like affirmations were cool and stuff, but I never really truly applied them until I went raw. So in 2014, I chose to go vegan, and I picked raw because it made the most sense to me, and I had already tried different versions of it, and I really loved the idea of raw. So when I went vegan, I also went raw at the same time. And what I discovered was every day I would wake up and I would say, today I'm a raw vegan, and today I choose raw food. Today, that is what I want for myself. And I noticed that over time, every single time I said that to myself, I slowly became the type of person who ate raw food every day. And it really showed me the value and potential of affirmations when we say it enough times. In the beginning, we don't believe it. And this could be like weeks to even months to even years. We might not believe them when we hear them. We'll hear them, we might feel a little uncomfortable. We've got that like past beliefs, core beliefs that are battling against these new beliefs. But the more often we repeat these new beliefs, the more we believe them, and the more they become who we are, the more they become our new beliefs, the more they become our reality of what we believe about ourselves and the things that we're trying to do for our health. So I really highly recommend grabbing the bundle so you get access to that video course. Thank you. We've got a comment in here. Beautiful hair. Thank you very much. I actually curled it yesterday. So this is kind of like day old curls, but we've got a question in here. Why is it so hard to stay raw? It's just so hard. I have a question for you. What do you find to be the most challenging part of staying raw? Because it's going to be different for everybody. Everyone's going to have specific challenges, whether it be social, whether it be finances, whether it be time, or whatever it is. I'd like to know, if you can post in the chat, what is your biggest challenge with staying raw? Because then we can brainstorm a few ideas with that. For me, when I first learned about raw, not when I first went raw, because I first learned about raw in 2004. So over 20 years ago, I first learned about raw, and I didn't actually commit to staying raw until 2014. So it took a whole decade for me to really embrace being a raw vegan and really telling myself every single day that I was a raw vegan. In the beginning, it was a little challenging just for the little bit of time in the beginning because I wasn't eating enough, because I came from diet culture, not eating enough, calorie restricting, eat only your BMR, over exercise, eat small little portions, that kind of stuff. I came from a very diet culture belief system. So when I went raw in the early days, I really realized really quickly that I needed to eat enough calories. And I think that that's the number one reason why people struggle on a raw diet, is they're just not eating enough. Because raw food is really low in calorie density, meaning you need to eat a lot more of it to get adequate calories. So it's super easy to undereat on a raw diet. And when you undereat on a raw diet, it makes everything more challenging. You get a lot of cravings, and you might run into nutritional deficiencies and stuff down the road. So it's super important to make sure that you eat enough calories and you get enough variety in your diet as well. So eating enough is key to staying raw long term. And I discovered that. But yeah, the affirmations are really powerful too, because the affirmations shift your belief systems. But you have to do them every day and repeat them every day to eventually start to believe them again. And like I said earlier, it takes time to actually start to believe those new belief systems. She's saying that she struggles with sugar cravings. So if you're struggling with sugar cravings, my simplest answer to that is to eat more fruit, because fruit is sugar. And if you're craving sugar, you're craving energy usually. So eat more fruit, have more apple slices, make a bowl of fruit, have some smoothies, make banana cinnamon rolls like Nate made this morning. Just dehydrate some bananas and roll them up with some date paste. As long as you're eating a lower fat diet, you can eat a lot of fruit, and that can really satiate those sugar cravings. However, I will say, most people, when they say they have sugar cravings, the sugar that they're craving also comes with fat. So unless you're just craving like straight sugary sugar that doesn't have fat, then obviously fruit is going to be a really great option. If you're craving the fat that comes with certain sugar things, like we'll use an example of donuts. Donuts are mostly fat because they're usually cooked in oil and fat. So even though they're a sugary product, they have a lot of fat in them. And a lot of pastries, a lot of, like even the raw cheesecakes are very high fat. You're getting that creamy, high fat texture with the sugar. So it can be really challenging if you're craving those kinds of things. And if you are craving those kinds of things, it's usually a signal that you have not eaten enough. So again, go back to the same basics. Eat more calories, eat a bunch of fruit, like make a big fruit bowl, have another smoothie. If you're feeling savory, if you're craving something salty or kind of more grounding, have a big salad. Have a big salad with a little bit of fats in your dressing for that form of satiation. And then have these really big, huge, gigantic salads loaded with lots of variety, and that will really help. Because if you're craving salt or like salty stuff, usually you want something that's really mineral rich. So dark leafy greens, your sprouts, your herbs, that kind of stuff can be really heavy in the minerals. And if you're craving sweet stuff, default to fruit. It's the easiest, simplest thing that you can do. If you want to stay raw, default to that. And then I would also say start working on your mindset more. Say your affirmations like when you have a craving, it's usually because you need calories. There are other cravings, kind of like you've got your peer pressure, you've got your comfort stuff and all of that. But usually when you have a craving, it's because your body needs fuel. So you want to honor your body's desire for fuel by choosing something that aligns with your goals. So cravings, I like to say cravings are a symptom of hunger. When we're hungry, we crave what we habitually choose. So if you have cravings for sugar, usually, at the 3 p.m. crash, you crave sugar because you usually eat the sugar at the 3 p.m. crash. So your body gets used to this habitual loop of you doing those things and making those choices. So you get used to it. So then when the 3 p.m. crash comes, you have the craving for the sugar because that's a habit. You need to change the habit. And that's really one of the most basic things that you can do if you have sugar cravings at specific hours or specific times. Look at your day, look at how much you've eaten through the day, look at why you are having that specific craving. Is it stress? Is it boredom? Is it peer pressure? What is the reason why you're having that craving? And then recognize it, accept it, say like, it's okay that I crave these sugary things. I know there's sugar in fruit, so I'm going to have whole fruit instead. I'm going to cut up that apple, I'm going to eat that orange, because that's nature's candy, right? We want something sweet, we go for the fruit. So I hope that helps. We have a question here, is raw healthier than whole food plant-based? This is an excellent question. So I personally feel best on raw. And now I, granted, have not done a cooked whole food plant-based diet. I went straight to raw because it made the most sense to me. And I love it. I enjoy how I feel on raw. I don't care for cooked food. I haven't eaten cooked food in over a decade, so it doesn't interest me at all. There are people who can be healthy on a whole food plant-based diet. Obviously, there's a lot of people who are living into their hundreds by eating whole food plant-based. So it's not that it's not healthy to eat that, but I personally feel better when I choose raw. And most of us need to eat more raw food anyways. It's enzymatically active, it's more hydrating, because when you cook food, you lower the hydration. When you dehydrate food, you lower the hydration as well, but it's still enzymatically active. So I don't know, I just really enjoy raw so much more. I love that we don't have a stove. We actually sold our stove and microwave, so we don't even have the ability to cook. We do have an Instapot, so if people come over and they want to make something, they're more than welcome to. But we don't have a stove, we don't have a microwave, we don't cook any of our meals. So it just is what it is, because that's what we prefer. And I have recovered from a lot of health issues by following a raw diet. And like I said, it's been over a decade. I'm not interested in eating anything cooked. Like when I see cooked whole food plant-based, I'm like, oh, how can I make that raw? It's just a default. And that comes back to the topic that we've been talking about, is shifting the mindset. When it becomes your reality, it's just your new frame of reference. And I don't see it as food that I really want to eat, so I automatically default to how can I make that raw, or what could I have that I love that's raw. We've got hundreds of recipes in the bundle, but if you do whole food plant-based, just eat more raw. That's the whole reason why we are here on social media, Nate and myself, is to help people to eat more raw. You don't have to be 100% raw if you don't want to be. You could try some days or weeks or months on all raw and see how you feel. Most people, again, undereat when they eat raw because of the calorie density thing. So you do have to eat more when you are on a raw diet, but try it out for yourself and see how you feel. And if you feel better eating raw, then eat more raw. You could always do high raw, where a small percentage of what you eat is cooked or what have you. But when it comes to healthier, it really depends, because it depends on how you follow a raw diet, because there's some people who are under eating, they're not eating enough variety. They might be doing some extreme protocols or something, and they're running into nutritional deficiencies. So even though they are eating a raw diet, maybe somebody who's doing a balanced whole food plant-based is actually doing better than the person on the raw because they're in a restrictive mindset. They're just not getting enough calories. They're not getting enough nutrition. But just because it's raw doesn't mean that they're eating a balanced, healthy, raw diet. Same with whole food plant-based. You can eat low variety on whole food plant-based. You can eat too many cooked foods. Maybe you need to eat more raw foods. So this question, there's no black and white answer to it. It's really broadening our range of foods that we eat and just including more and more raw. So I hope that answered that question. Thank you for asking the questions. Still Blooming is asking, can you say something about the amount of fat you include, like avocado, nuts, etc.? Okay, so fat percentage. Nate and I strive to be around 10 to 15% total calories coming from fats, which is roughly, so I eat around like 2,400 calories a day, give or take, average. That's the average that I strive for. 10 to 15% calories from fats is roughly around 30, maybe 35 grams of fats, which is about half an avocado or like a shot glass of nuts or seeds. And that's pretty much it to stay at around 10% fats. And then anything more than that ends up being a little bit higher. So it really depends on where you want to sit with your fat percentage. Try different percentages and see how you feel. Some people like to have a little extra, some people like to be a little bit more low, but make sure that you're getting adequate omega-3 essential fatty acids in as well. Don't have all your fats coming from avocado and nuts, because unless there's walnuts in there, you're probably getting a very low amount of omega-3, which can cause issues later down the road. So make sure that you're consuming things like flax, chia. Those are the top two sources of omega-3. Romaine lettuce actually has a fair amount of omega-3 in it, and berries do have some omega-3 as well. And then I would say, third place would be like the walnuts and the hemp. Those are more balanced 1-to-1 ratio-ish, but there is more omega-3 in flax and chia. So Nate and I try to have chia or flax in our day every day if we can, so that we can get the omega-3s from that, which are essential for every single cell in your body, for the cell wall, the lipid layer that allows things in and out and allows them to be fluid. If we're eating too many omega-6s, too many stiff fats as well, like if you're not eating a raw or a vegan diet, or you could be eating a vegan diet with lots of junk food, but I was gonna say if you're eating processed foods and animal products, then those are more stiff fats, and they actually don't cause as much pliability in your cells, and you want the pliability, you want the electrical current that the softer, more pliable fats like omega-3 can bring. So having those in your diet is very, very important. So I hope that answers your question. We have another question. I garden, so I grow my food. That's awesome. Love hearing that. I just don't get full. I'll do mostly fruit in the morning and a huge salad, but I'm hungry a few hours later. I bought your hand salad book, so maybe that will help. So the hand salads will definitely help. I know so many people who've said, like, I feel so good eating these because it's calorie density. Again, if you're feeling hungry after a few hours, that's completely normal, because this is my theory on this whole topic. We have been conditioned based on the food that we typically eat to feel full for hours and hours and hours. I mean, a few hours is a good amount of time to be full. So a few hours I don't think is a big deal if you need to eat more often. And that's the thing, when you're on raw food, it's so low in calorie density, you have to eat more of it. So you may need to eat more often, you may need to eat bigger portions. If you're just doing fruit in the morning and a huge salad, I don't think, that doesn't sound like it's enough calories. So maybe look at running your calories for the day using something like chronometer.com and enter in all the food that you're consuming and see how many calories you're eating in a day, because just a little fruit in the morning, I don't know how much you're eating. I don't know how much fruit you're having. I don't know how big your salad is. These are all questions that come into play, but most people I know who are following a raw diet aren't eating big enough salads, and they're not eating enough fruit. Again, it's the number one reason why people struggle on a raw diet is they are not eating enough. They're not eating often enough. They're not eating big enough portions of the food, right? They feel full because fruit and vegetables are very high in water and fiber content. So it fills you up fast, but it's very fast digesting food. So you need more often. You need to keep topping up your gas tank more often throughout the day. And that's totally fine and totally normal. There's no reason why we need to be full for 6 hours. That is from the food that we eat generally in society. That has caused us to get used to this idea that we need to be full for 6 hours. Whereas, I mean, if you want to use the appeal to nature idea, most animals are eating, grazing all day. They're just eating whenever they can, whenever they want to. They're not doing, specific 2 meals a day or whatever eating windows. They usually eat all day. Most herbivorous animals, that is, because we don't want to compare ourselves to lions because we are not like lions. So we're talking more about the herbivorous animals where they're just grazing all day. Frugivorous animals, they eat enough calories. They eat a lot more than we do because we have busy lives, because we have all these things on our schedules. We need to feel full for many hours to get us through until lunch, right? For example, so we want to have like this really dense calorie meal so that we can get through to lunch, but it's because society has shifted and kind of like forced us into this box of that we need to be full for 6 hours so that we can get to the next milestone, we can get to our next meal. When in reality, it's actually more ideal to eat these lower density calorie foods more often. So like having 4 meals a day, for example, might be more ideal. Having fruit first thing in the morning, which is what Nate and I like to do. We'll have like a couple bananas, maybe 200 to 400 calories, depending on how we feel. First thing in the morning, then we usually go for our walk, and then when we get home, we have a 600 calorie smoothie, 500 to 600 calorie smoothie. So before lunch, we've already consumed roughly 800 to 1,000 calories before lunch. Then lunch is a 500 to 600 calorie salad. Then dinner is a 500 or 600 calorie salad as well, or the wraps, those tend to be around that as well. We can only fit roughly 500 to maybe 700 calories worth of raw food in our stomach based on volume. Because you can fit like 2,500 calories of cooked, dense, high-fat foods into a stomach because it's a smaller amount of food with more calories in it. Whereas raw food, you have to eat a huge amount of calories or a huge amount of volume to get, adequate amount of calories. So we do need to eat more often on a raw diet. And again, it's the number one thing. So yes, the hand salads should help you because they are a little bit more calorie dense because they're a dehydrated food. So you can roll up all the fresh stuff inside and they are quite filling. Make sure you drink water throughout the day, extra water to help the psyllium feed your gut microbiome and clean you out. So yes. That would be those are my thoughts on that. We have another question here. Do you think sugar is bad for you, or do you think the fat that comes with it is bad? So I don't like using the words bad and good. I think that less ideal is a better term for it. But I don't think it really depends on the sugar as well. Sugar comes in many different forms. Fruit sugar, totally fine. Fruit is one of our most ideal foods to eat. So fruit sugar is totally fine. But when we're eating a really high fat diet, we're eating oils, processed foods, animal products, or really high fat, like tons of nuts, tons of avocados. If we're eating the majority of our calories coming from fats, it's gonna cause insulin resistance. And that's the problem. Insulin resistance is really the issue here. And fat is what blocks insulin from opening our cells to put sugar in for energy. So if you're eating too many fats, you're gumming up the locks so that insulin can't do its job by getting the sugar into your cells. So sugar sits, it ferments, it feeds other bacteria, it gets stored as fat, all this stuff when you're eating high fat. As soon as you lower your fat percentage down, you're able to eat a lot more sugar in a healthy form. Obviously, I'm not here to say we should be eating processed sugar. I'm here to say fruit sugar is not the problem. It's the fats and the processed sugars that are the problem. It's especially the processed foods. And I'm sure every single person who, it doesn't matter what diet you're on, we all understand that processed foods are not good for us. And it's the combination, it's the highly processed nature, it's the low fiber, it's the high fat. These things are causing issues in our bodies. When we eliminate those foods, when we lower our fat percentage down, we can increase the amount of fruits and vegetables that we consume, and we feel so much better, and our body works better. So I hope that answers your question. Hello. We've got hello from the UK. Thank you everybody for joining. Please go grab the vegan health bundle. The link is in my bio or in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube. Get the bundle. It's nearly $5,600 worth of content, and you only pay $49 to access it all. So once you pay the $49, you get to download 83 things worth almost $5,600. It's an amazing deal. Nate and I have contributed 8 things to this bundle. My brand new, never before released Align and Awaken Affirmation Meditation course challenge. Nate's brand new smoothie book is in the bundle. So when you buy the bundle, you get to download his brand new smoothie book. We've got the burger book, Tales from the Tailgate, Make It Raw Volume 3, Meal Plan Volume 3, Holiday Menu 3, and access to watch our class that we did on how we prep raw food for 2 people first thing in the morning. It only takes an hour. So you get access to watch that class too. It's really cool. So go check out the bundle. We got another comment in here. I tried raw for a couple months. At first, it was really difficult and I felt like I'm sick, but quickly realized that I don't know where that continued. My body's getting rid of bad toxins after a month. I felt like a new person, full of energy. Felt like a newborn person. So yeah, shifting over from a diet that has high fats, it's nice that we're talking about that a little bit, is that if you're coming from a diet that's high in fats, it's going to be challenging the first little bit of time when you go raw, because high fat stays in your bloodstream for a couple days. So when you start eating more fruit and more plant foods, of course, your insulin's going to be like, whoa. But after a little while, it can balance out and you can feel a lot better. But it is so important to make sure that you're eating enough fiber, because fiber is essential for daily detox, especially the cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables provide us a lot of what we need to make glutathione, which is our master antioxidant, and it's essential in phase 2 liver detox. So if we want to inactivate those toxins, we need to support our liver in the phase 2 and our cellular detox. Phase 2 liver detox with cruciferous veggies are some of the highest in what we need to make glutathione. Well, let's see, what else do we have here? Where can I find the supplies I need to make the wraps, Elizabeth? So you can go to my Amazon store. I have a link, amazon.com/shop/rawfoodromance. That link, you can DM me and I'll send you the link if you don't remember it. I'm totally cool sending you that. But there's a list of all the tools you need. You'll need a dehydrator, you'll need silicone trays, maybe an offset spatula and a blender. That's pretty much all you need to make the wraps. But you can get all those links in the wrap book as well. So the wrap book is not part of the bundle. If you want the wrap book with the wrap recipes, you also need a food scale, because you have to weigh the ingredients so that you get the appropriate amount of batter. Because if you don't weigh the ingredients, then you're gonna get a different amount than I got. And usually it doesn't work the same. So you want to make sure that you weigh the ingredients so that you get the same results that I do. So a food scale is really important to have too. They're like $20 on Amazon. But yeah, all of the links to everything that you need is also in the wrap book, the hand salads wrap book. So if you want the wrap book, which is separate from the bundle, send me a DM and I can send you the link to my ebook store if you want to grab that. But yes, the supplies are all linked in the ebook or on my Amazon store if you need that. Len's Crafty Life is saying, downloading bundle while listening to you. That's awesome. I'm so glad you're downloading it. Yes, as soon as you pay that $49, you get a link via email from Send Owl Downloads, and you'll have access to download all 83 things from the bundle. So they're all yours. You have 1 year to download everything. So glad you got the bundle. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you enjoy my Affirmation meditation challenge. I loved making that. It was so much fun. And I've had so many people say, Lissa, I love your affirmation videos, but I'd love to have them longer. So that was kind of a motivation for me to make this course, is because people were asking for longer affirmation videos and more affirmation videos. So I was like, I'll just do 30 of them. They're all around 25 to 35 minutes long. There's breath work, visualization, and affirmations. If you do the entire 30 days, you will say or think 3,000 positive affirmations with me. In those, there's 100 of them every single day, and they're about like anywhere from like 12 to 17 minutes it took me to read all 100 for every single day, but that's not including like the breath work and the visualization and the meditations as well. So you get 30 different videos that you can listen to, and each one unlocks as you listen to them. So once you listen to day 1, it'll unlock day 2, and then you just go complete and it'll unlock the next one so that you can watch that one as well. And then once you're done the 30 days, you could start over, or you can listen to some of your favorite days. One of my favorite days is day 17, about the future you. I really like the one on procrastination and resisting change. There's some really good ones in there I hope you really enjoy. And that's all yours. You get to log in when you buy the bundle, download the PDF, and you'll be able to log in for free. You don't have to pay extra to log in because it's part of the bundle. So you just pay the $49, you get to download it and enjoy all of that. So thank you so much for getting the bundle. Again, link is in my bio or in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube. I'm trying to keep it as much raw as possible. Thank you for your motivation. That's awesome. And that's what we want. We want people to eat as high raw as what feels comfortable to you. Most people don't eat enough raw in general, right? So it's not about perfection. It's not about being perfect, or whatever someone thinks is a perfect diet. It's about working with your body, where you're at, working with your gut microbiome, working with your finances, with your time schedule, all of that, trying to add as much raw into your life as you can, and variety as well. Amanda is asking, can you tell us what you eat in a day, please? Okay, so this is average. An average day, again, every day is going to be different. It depends on what we want to eat, depends on what we schedule, depends on what we have, depends on the season. So a typical day would be, a typical ideal day would be first thing in the morning, we get up and we have 200 to 400 calories worth of fruit. So like bananas, or when mango season's coming, we eat a lot of mangoes, peaches, nectarines. Sometimes we'll do grapes, but we'll do, like 200 to 400 calories first thing in the morning, average. Then we'll go for our walk, and then we have our smoothie. And usually it's around 500 to 600 calories per person, give or take. Sometimes we can get more in there, but we'll really have to stuff that blender. But then lunch comes around, and usually we have either wraps, if we're hiking or traveling or whatever, wraps are usually for lunch, or we have a fruiting vegetable salad or another smoothie. So it really depends on what we want to have that day, what our day's looking like, that kind of thing. And then dinner is typically, lately, has been a tahini dill salad. So we have like tahini, lemon, garlic, dill, like a tahini dill style salad with a lot of darker leafy greens and other variety of things. And that's when we have most of our ferments. We'll put our microgreens and our sprouts. It's more of a grounding salad that we have at dinner time, and it's usually massive. Lunch is also pretty massive when we make our salads for lunch. Salads for lunch are usually the more watery, rich salads. So we'll be like heavy on the tomatoes, heavy on the cucumbers, lots of lettuce, and a lower fat dressing. So I like to do the French dressing mostly, or like a sweet mustard kind of the style dressing. And that is since it's low fat, or we put like chia in it, which I consider to be a really low fat food because it's mostly fiber and omega-3. So it's a really good addition. And it's easier to eat those ones at lunch because you're super hydrated from the tomatoes and cucumbers. If I eat something like that at night, then it's, like more likely to wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. So I like to have my more hydrating salads and fruit in the day, and then the more grounding salads like dark leafies, sprouts, microgreens, vegetables, and the dressing that has like a little more fats in it in dinner time. So that's basically what we eat in a day, give or take. It hasn't really changed much over the years. The recipes have changed, but the basics really haven't very much. I love your page. You're a beautiful person. Thank you very much. Patricia says, hi, Lissa. I think you're beautiful soul. I love your bundles and looking forward to purchase the new ones. I've tried to be just on fruit last summer, but didn't feel great. What is your opinion on water fast? I'm personally not into the fasting thing, so I wouldn't suggest it. And I also don't suggest all fruit either. I believe more in a balanced approach. So fruit and greens and vegetables stand on equal grounds. So they both get equality in my mind. So fruit isn't better than vegetables and vegetables aren't better than fruit. I think that we need both of them. Including sprouts and spices and more of a variety of a diet. So we're getting a lot of the minerals, a lot of the protein, a lot of the grounding, the fiber, and different nutrients we get from greens and vegetables and sprouts than we get from fruit. Fruit is really good for energy and hydration and vitamins, and it's really great too, and there's fiber in there as well. But it's more about having a good balance of everything and having everything together. And I believe personally that is the best way to support daily detox, because we detox 24/7. We don't need to force our bodies into it. We just need to support our bodies every single day with what we eat, with movement, with sleep, with proper hydration. And it's always a constant balance for all of us to get that in place. But I personally I'm not a fan of the extreme things, unless it's between you and your practitioner. I don't really recommend anything really too extreme. I'm all about the balance, the variety, more level boring over here. So that's my opinion. I hope that helps. We've got, I wish I wasn't allergic to bananas. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a hard one. But there's so many other fruits that you can have. There's so many other things that you can enjoy. And I hope that you find a good balance there. We've got a thank you in here. You're tireless. Oh, Chef AJ. Chef AJ's in here. Yes, I am tireless. I keep going. Yes. Thank you, Chef AJ. I love you so much, Chef AJ. She is co-organizer with me for the Vegan Health Bundle. We are so excited to have this available for you this year. It's an amazing collection from amazing people, and we want you to have access to all of this content, but we can only do it for 10 days. So get it now. Link is in my bio or in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube. But yes, Chef AJ is incredible. I love her endlessly, and you know that. I'm making her wraps because I'm going to go hang out with her at Rancho La Puerta in Mexico for her 65th birthday. I believe there's one spot left, so you'll want to message Chef AJ if you want to join us in Mexico at the end of the month. It's going to be so much fun. So yes, I love you, Chef AJ. Elizabeth says, I hope you can answer my question so I can buy the bundle. I hope I did answer your question. I'm sorry. I have to scroll through these and try to get it to everybody. But I hope that answered your question, Elizabeth. The burger book is amazing. Yes, thank you. The burger book is part of the bundle. There's 144 recipes in the burger book that you can mix and match to make your own burger. So there's the iceberg lettuce bun, or you can make the apple rye bun, or the mushroom, the portobello bun. You can make either of those three. And then there's 60 burger patties. There's like 40 different sauces. There's low fat sauces and higher fat sauces. There's toppings in there. There's the avocado fries. There's even side dishes like slaws. There's the mac and cheese as well. There's wedge salad in there. There's cauliflower buffalo wings. There's other sides in there as well. I think there's about 20. But there's a total of 144 recipes for you to mix and match and make your own amazing, delicious burger. Low fat burgers and burgers with a little bit more fats in there too, so you can choose what works best for you. We've got Raw Chef Yin in the house from Malaysia. Raw Chef Yin and I are going to be going live chatting about chickpeas and sprouting the chickpeas and the forbidden black rice. So if you want to join in on that, we're going live, I believe it's on Sunday, tomorrow. Either tomorrow or next Sunday. I can't remember exactly which one. But if you want to watch all the lives, if you want to know all the lives that we are doing together as bundle creators, go to the link in my bio and go to the website. And then in the top right-hand corner, there is a link for the 2025 live events schedule where you can click on that and you can see all the lives that we've scheduled to do over the next 10 days. So you can choose which ones you want to attend, click on the link and it'll take you to the person's or the host's Instagram or YouTube or whatever it is that they're hosting it on. So go check it out and see. We've got another question in here. I really want all your tools and ingredients that you use to make those wraps. I watched you on Chef AJ. If you do want all the tools for the wraps, again, the links are all in the Hand Salads ebook, which is not part of the bundle. But I can get you all the tools if you want from the Amazon store. So just send me a DM, say Amazon store link, please, and I'll send you the link to my Amazon store so you can get all the bundles or all the tools you need. Elizabeth says, thank you, I'll DM you. Yes, please, DM. If you have any questions also after this live or whenever, send me a DM. I really love chatting with you and helping you the best that I can. Elizabeth says, what was the name of the cheese you used on today on Chef AJ? So we usually make our own cheese, and it's just basically soaked cashews with probiotics and fermented. So it's the same concept, but we buy it from Treeline. Treeline makes a few oil-free versions. You have to read the ingredients because they have some that have oil and some that don't have oil. So they have a cashew goat cheese, I believe, and that one does not have oil. They also have a garlic one and a scallion one which don't have oil. So I think there's the three of them that don't. The pimento one has oil, so we don't get that. But yeah, it's called Treeline cheese, and usually you can get that at Whole Foods or Sprouts. They usually carry that one. But we most of the time make our own. It's just blended cashews with probiotics and fermented. So we have recipes in the Tales from the Tailgate ebook if you want to make that. Yeah, Chef AJ shared Treeline cheese. Yes, Treeline cheese is so delicious. We love that one. Veggie Grammy says, unfortunately on antibiotics after surgery, suggestions to keep my microbiome good, I believe she says. Okay, so there's been new research that has shown that taking probiotics after a round of antibiotics is not as beneficial as we once thought it was. It can actually impede you from building your microbiome. My suggestion is to load up on variety and eat some fermented foods. So things like homemade sauerkraut, homemade kimchi, all of those ferments, as long as they're unpasteurized, so they're enzymatically and bacterially active, they are going to help rebuild your gut microbiome better than the supplements will. So eating more fiber as well will feed the good bacteria that you still have in there that needs to grow and flourish. But I think it was Dr. Greger who made a post just maybe a week or two ago about probiotic supplements actually impeding people's bounce back after a round of antibiotics. So it's very important to eat more fiber variety to build your microbiome. Eating as much fiber as you possibly can from a wide variety of different plants is going to be probably the most beneficial, followed by the fermented foods, because they are going to help build your microbiome a lot better too. So that's what I would do or suggest if I was in your position. Can you help with foamy urine? Okay, that one, I don't know why. I would need to know why that's happening, but I would definitely look at what you're eating. I would probably go get checked out and see what is causing that before offering any ideas or brainstorming on that. So yes, tree line is better than Kite Hill. I've personally never had Kite Hill. I don't know what the ingredients are. I think I looked at it one time and it was not raw. I mean, cashews aren't raw either, but if I'm gonna do a cheese, like a vegan plant-based cheese, I'm gonna do something with cashews in it. But I don't know what Kite Hill uses in their ingredients. I think, like I said, I think I've looked at it before and I was like, no, it's not something that aligns with what I like. So yes. Raw Chef Yin says, I did your affirmations today, day 2. What do you think of them? How do you like them, Yin? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And yes, each day unlocks as you listen. So once you listen to day 1, you click continue, it'll unlock day 2. And then you listen to day 2 and you click continue and it'll unlock day 3. And if you want access to all 30 of them and all the information that's also included in there, go grab the bundle. Link is in my bio or in the description box below so that you can do the affirmation meditations as well. They're so much fun. Do you believe fruit should be eaten separately from vegetables? I don't believe that. I am not a huge follower of the whole food combining thing. I know some people really love it and it works for them, but I don't believe that it's a blanket statement for every single human being on the planet because we're all so different. We all have different microbiomes and we all deal with different food combinations differently. So my suggestion to you is to try it out, and if you don't like it, don't do it. Everyone's going to be very individual with that. So I personally don't follow any of the food combining things except for maybe high fat with like melons, for example. Like I wouldn't do cashew cheese with a watermelon salad. That would just not be something that I would do. But melons I've eaten with other berries and other fruit just fine. I don't have any issues with that. I don't have any issues putting fruit in my salads. I'll put apple slices, sometimes oranges. A lot of times we'll do mangoes. I mean, a lot of things that go in a salad are fruit anyways, like tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumbers, avocado. Those are all fruits and they go in a salad. So totally fine, I think, to combine the two, but really listen to your body and see how you feel. And also keep in mind that we need to be chewing our food a lot more thoroughly than we are. And I think that a lot of digestive problems come from not chewing enough. So even though you might be following perfect food combining, if you're not chewing your food properly, then it doesn't matter, right? If you combine your food however which way, but you chew it really thoroughly, you expose all of that surface so your bacteria and your gut can digest it properly, then it's going to be so much better on digestion than making sure that everything is perfect. And I honestly, I don't follow the food combining stuff because it's too much for me. And I'd rather have much variety. Like I have probably, I don't know, most nights it's like between 15 and 20 different things in our salad, including the dressing. So we like variety. We like to put as much as we possibly can in our salads, and our smoothies are usually lots of different kinds of fruit all together. So we don't really follow the food combining thing. But again, it's all up to you. You try it out and see how you feel. I believe when we limit stuff, we get stuck in an area where we have to limit stuff because we have been limiting stuff. So, but when we start to include more variety, then we're able to move over to the more variety side. But it can take time, especially if you're coming from a zone where you've been very restrictive, especially with fiber and fiber variety. It's going to take time and patience and a lot of consistency and building up so that you can enjoy more variety. So, Yoda Beast, hey Chris, our new friend Chris, who is amazing. His family is so awesome. We go 4x4ing with them a lot. They're our new friends and we've been enjoying making him wraps and he's been enjoying making the wraps. So thanks for hanging out, Chris. It's awesome that you are our new friend. It's really great. I know you and Nate are like super besties, which is so cool. Yin, we're going live tomorrow. Yes, yes, yes. My love, I love you, Yin, so much. I cannot wait to go live with you. You are amazing, seriously, wonderful human, and I can't wait to go live with you. So yes, tomorrow going live with Yin. Hi, everyone. Oh, yes, Yosemite Gal says, Lissa's raps are amazing. Mwah, truly original creation. Thank you so much. Belle Shaw Sherry says, just bought the bundle. Yay! Thank you so much for buying the bundle. I hope you enjoy all the content that's in there. Please download everything. Make sure you download everything within the year of purchase and make sure you back everything up. We've got Lovers Only World says, hi, what is your protocol if you ever feel like sniffles or a little under the weather? Do you drink hot things like tea? You can cold brew tea if you want, or you can make it like warmed to raw if you like. Just have it warm in the dehydrator, or you can boil the water and let it cool a little bit and then use that to make your tea. Under the weather, really, like the best protocol I personally think is rest. Rest and hydration are like the top things. The more you can rest, the faster you're gonna bounce back. That's just my opinion. Obviously, some herbs are gonna be really helpful. Eating raw food is really helpful. But yeah, if you feel like a tea, have a tea. Not a big deal if you want to have a tea. Slippery elm tea is really good too. Foamy urine could be candida overgrowth or oxalate dumping. Candida overgrowth definitely could be something for the foamy urine. That would be, you want to lower your fat intake, lower that fat intake so your body can use the sugars properly, and also feed your microbiome with lots of fiber variety, because that's what's going to really build your army, your gut army that is going to fight off that bacteria, or that yeast, sorry. You really want to have a strong microbiome to fight that off. And I had candida for 15 years. And then when I adopted the high carb, low fat, raw vegan diet, eating a lot of fiber variety, my gut grew really strong, and the candida left on its own because my gut was like so strong that it fought it off, and it kept it in balance, because you can never fully 100% get rid of candida. It just lives in harmony with everything else in a more balanced state. So that's what happens. Chris says, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. Queen or Hemba says, how do I raw with such little time and still get enough nutrients? That's a great question. So I would definitely recommend grabbing the bundle, because you get access to watch our video class that we did where we show how to make breakfast, lunch, and dinner in an hour for 2 people, which means that if it's just you could make breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 2 people and just be you for one day and you for the next day. You can make double batches. That's a really great way to save time. Is if you're chopping already, chop extra and have extra for the next meal. If you are making a dressing, just blend a double batch. That way you only have to wash the blender once, and the next day you don't have to blend a dressing. You've already blended it. So it's basically just putting double the amount of ingredients into the blender and blending it so that you have extra sauce for the next day for your salad. Those are 2 really big tips, but watch that video, because we make breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 2 in under an hour. I think it's like, well, I don't think it was under an hour. I think it was like an hour and 6 minutes or something like that. And we got it all done first thing in the morning. So all we had to do at lunch was dump everything in a bowl and eat it. Dinner, dump everything in a bowl and eat it. It was really great to have everything done. And we like to do our food prep like that a lot. So definitely check that out. If you do, I hope that helps answer your question. Yeah, it really just takes time and practice and patience with yourself. Scheduling yourself in is very, very important. So you're going to have to figure out what time of day is going to be the best for you to get that prep in. So do you need to do it first thing in the morning? Do you need to do it after work when you get home? Do you need to do it before you go to bed? Try a few different times for the food prep and see what works best for you, because not everybody likes morning food prep. Not everybody likes to do it after dinner when they're tired. So it really depends on you and your time schedule, but you probably do have time. You just have to schedule it in and show up for yourself. And when Nate and I were in Mexico in 2018, we met one of the servers and we started chatting. We were talking to him for hours. And he told us a story. He said, it's interesting how people say they don't have time, but then when they are forced to, they find the time. For example, he used the example of his friend. His friend was working a job close by his house or whatever, and when he lost that job, he didn't have any time. Like when he had that job, he was like, I don't have any time to do anything. I don't have any time. I don't have any time. I don't have any time. But then he lost that job and he got another job that he had to drive an extra 45 minutes to get to and 45 minutes to drive home. And suddenly he found the time to do that. So he did already have that extra hour and a half, but because he, forced himself because he got a new job that was further away, he arranged his life to make it work. So we do have the time. Most of us do have the time. We just have our priorities shifted a little different. So we can find the time. Most of us can. It's about really trying to figure out what works best for you and doing things like making double batches of stuff, doing double batches of the dressings, of chopping extra vegetables, or getting pre-chopped veggies, like getting boxes of mixed greens that are ready to go, or already shredded carrots. You can get bags of already shredded carrots and not just dump it in a salad. It's a lot easier to do it that way. We get bags of shredded cabbage that we just dump on our wraps. So it can be really easy, it can be really fast, or it can be really complicated. It really depends on what recipes you're making, what you're doing. We personally really like making the wraps. It only takes 15 minutes to make 2 wraps, which is 1 batch, and that's 4 meals. Only 15 minutes to make those, and then we just roll them up, maybe 5 minutes to roll it up. But those help a lot during really busy times too. So hope that helps you. Thank you so much. Strong Soul Wellness says, if you batch cook with raw food, how long does it last? Can you use it for the next 4 days? It really depends. Raw food is not like cooked food. So once you chop fresh produce, it starts to oxidize and it starts to wilt and disintegrate and starts to go bad as soon as we chop it. So when you're prepping stuff, usually we only like to prep stuff for maybe 2 days. If we're traveling, we can extend it to a little longer, like 3, maybe 4 days, but it's getting wilty, it's changing color, it's not very appealing. So we like to prep, if we're gonna prep, we usually do 1-2 days max. When we're at home, that's pretty much the most that we will prep for. Unless we're prepping wraps we can prep for like days in advance or weeks in advance because the wraps stay really well. Like the one we rolled on Chef AJ, I think is like at least like a week or 2 weeks old. And we just rolled it on Chef AJ. We're gonna have it tomorrow for lunch. So, you can make the wraps. The wraps last quite a long time just by themselves, but once you roll them, you've got maybe 1 to 3 days because fresh produce, again, once you cut it, it starts to oxidize. So you want to eat it as fresh as possible. And that's why we like to do 1 to 2 days worth of food prep. When you're blending dressings, I will say this though, when you are blending dressings, if you have a vacuum blender and you blend the dressing under vacuum and then you seal it under vacuum, you can definitely get 4 days out of that dressing if you don't open it. Keeping it under vacuum helps to preserve it, as well as blending it under vacuum because you're not blending oxygen into your dressing. And that's why they go bad faster, because you're blending, like when you're blending all that air into it. And that's why we are huge lovers of vacuum blending, because when you're blending, when you take the air out of the blender with the vacuum, you blend under vacuum, so there's very little oxygen left in the chamber to blend into your dressing. Everything tastes better, everything looks better, everything has better texture, and it lasts longer because you don't have all that oxidation happening when you're blending. So again, blend under vacuum and then store it under vacuum. You can get those little like vacuum seal things on top that you can just like vacuum the air out of your jar, and then it helps to preserve that a lot longer. And that's what we do when we go camping or backpacking or whatever. We will store them under vacuum so that they last longer, especially camping, definitely. So hope that answers your question. Mwah! Thank you everybody so much. You are amazing. for being here with me and hanging out. And thank you for buying the bundle. What else we got here? How do you store the wraps? Okay, so what we like to do most of the time is when we make them at home, we just leave them on the silicone trays in the dehydrator with the door off. That's typically how we store them. You don't need to do anything special. You don't need to put them in the fridge. I don't recommend the fridge or the freezer because there's moisture in there, and moisture is not good for the wraps. We want to keep them away from moisture. So the other way that we store the wraps is when we go traveling or we make multiple ones and we have to take them somewhere, we peel them off the silicone tray and then we use parchment paper and we separate each one with parchment inside an unsealed Ziploc bag. It has to be unsealed because as soon as you seal it, you can start trapping moisture and moisture builds up and they can go bad. So have it unsealed, have the airflow really nice, and that's how we store the wraps. When we roll them, we store them in deli paper. So once they're filled and rolled, we put deli paper around them and we just keep them in the fridge in an unsealed container, again, to prevent moisture buildup. And they last around 1 to 3 days. It really depends on what you put inside. Remember, if you use wet ingredients, there's going to be a lot more wetness happening, and no one really likes soggy wraps. And the same thing happens with tortilla wraps. The more wet stuff you put in there, the more they're going to disintegrate. So just use drier ingredients like lettuce and carrots and whatever else, like avocado is pretty good in there too. Vacuum blender. Vacuum blending is amazing. You can get the Void systems. I can't remember the one that Dr. Rick and Karen Dina have, but they have another, I think it's called New Wave, I think. But Dynapro makes one from TriBest, and Kuvings has a vacuum blender as well. But there's lots of other inexpensive vacuum blenders on the market too that you can grab. Hello, are your wraps included in this bundle? So the wrap book itself is not included in this bundle. However, there are wrap recipes in our Tales from the Tailgate ebook, including the one that we make most often, the Everything But the Bagel one. There's the hot harissa wrap in there as well, and the onion-free zucchini garden party wrap. That's in there too. So is the blue wrap, that blue galaxy wrap. That recipe's in there. It's basically just the Everything Bagel one with the blue spirulina added. But that recipe's in there as well. So when you buy the bundle, you do get wrap recipes. There just isn't as many as in the hand salads wrap book, which is not in the bundle because it was in the bundle last year. So we for the vegan health bundle, we don't include things from past years, only things that are not from last year. So that's why the wrap book is not in this bundle, but the Tales from the Tailgate ebook is, and you do get some wrap recipes in there. So you can get started with a couple wraps, and if you like them, you can get the wrap book later on. So grab the bundle. The link is in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube, or you can click the link in my bio here on Instagram and go grab the bundle. Enjoy all the content. There's nearly $5,600 worth of downloads that you only pay $49 to access. So once you pay the $49, you get an email with a download link, and you can download all the stuff that's on the website. And if you want to know exactly what's in the bundle, click the link in my bio or in the description box below and go to the website and see for yourself. Scroll through the website and see if anything stands out, because it's going to be worth it. Even if you only wanted a few things from the bundle, it's totally worth it to grab the bundle and enjoy all of that content. You just download it all and use what you want. There's 25 different things that are raw focused in the bundle as well. So there's plenty of raw options in there. Chef AJ included her videos from her Live Your Best Life conference. Only the people who went to that conference got the videos. So now you can get the videos too. If you buy the bundle, you get to watch those videos from her conference. And yeah, there's so many cool things in this bundle. Definitely go check it out. Again, link is in my bio or in the description box below. So thank you again for joining me for this, and thank you for hanging out and chatting with me and asking questions. Mwah! I love you all so much. beyond measure. You are amazing. And thank you for making positive choices. Thank you for taking care of yourself. Thank you for making those challenging habits or practicing those challenging habits in the challenging times, because that's when your habits grow. We will be back tomorrow with more lives happening. Again, we're going live with Rochef Yin at some point tomorrow. I believe it's at 5 p.m. PST. I'll be going live with her. And Nate, the love of my life, is going live at 9 a.m. every single day during the bundle. And he's going to be doing the smoothie challenge. So this morning he made like a turmeric detox smoothie and it was really good. So he has his brand new smoothie ebook, which I'm super proud of him for creating. And it's part of the bundle as well. So if you wanted to get his brand new smoothie ebook, that's almost 350 pages, 45 new smoothie recipes in there, get the bundle so you have access to that. Link is in my bio or in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube. So Roxanne is saying, thank you, so helpful. So glad that I have been helpful for you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for asking the questions, because questions should be answered. So if you have questions, please join for the next lives and ask those questions and discover more. Every day we learn a little bit more and we implement that into our life, and then we just get better every single day. So it's always about doing the little things and learning the little things and just improving over time. Mwah. So thank you so much for joining, and we will be back tomorrow for way more lives and more fun and all that great stuff. So thank you, and fruit on, as always.